How's it going, everybody? It's Space Cowboy 17 here. Welcome back. In this one, we will be talking about how Dak Prescott can improve his game for 2018. So now, before we get any further into the video, I first want to stress something so people do not get it twisted. I am saying that Dak has some things that he needs to work on in the offseason. We understand that. I want to also say that Dak Prescott has already an amazing skill set that can be fine-tuned to make him a top 10 quarterback in this league, okay? Now, I also want to explain that what I will say is just all for the betterment of him. I'm not saying that he 100% sucks at whatever I mention. What I'm saying is that he has things to do to help make him a much better quarterback in this league. He's a second-year player, guys. You gotta give the guy some time to develop, man. Consider the fact that he was thrown into the fire and he has led the Cowboys to 13-3 and 9-7 seasons so far. Goes to show you that I feel like that he has the chance to be something extremely special. So please keep that in mind. To start things off, we need to talk about his footwork. Now, footwork kind of leads into accuracy as well, mainly due to the fact that when it comes to your accuracy, it also involves feet placement and where you want to go with the ball. So for example, when I played baseball, I had to work on footwork as well. Why? Because in order to ensure that the ball was going to go where it had to be, you had to make sure that your feet were planted and that your arm strength and your arm movement was correct, therefore the ball could come out accurately. So that's because in baseball it's kind of the same way, more so when you're trying to throw the ball in a certain direction or into a certain area, you got to plant your feet down and then throw to said target. Same thing with football. If you're going to put the ball in a certain place, you have to make sure that your feet are planted and you're going through your throwing motion as your feet are planted. You can't do the happy feet bounce up and down and then throw. It kind of impacts your accuracy, and obviously Dak did that a couple times. Now, I'm not trying to say that he's bad or it's not going to get any better. Obviously, he's got stuff to work on. I mean, every quarterback does. And I do want to talk about where Dak stands currently in regards to his accuracy and footwork. In terms of an interesting stat that came out, it was in regards to tight window throws. Now, for those that don't know what tight window throws are, it's an action stat that basically defines it as a throw where the intended receiver had less than a yard of separation from the defender. Yes, that's an interesting stat. Now, the average quarterback threw 18.6% of his passes into a tight window over the last 2 seasons. Now, only quarterbacks with over 200 pass attempts and 7+ games played in 2017 qualified for the list. So there were 35 total players, okay? And basically, it divided it into 3 categories. The completion rate on the tight windows, passer rating, and adjusted yards per attempt on tight window throws. Guess who was number 1? Dak Prescott. His completion percentage was first with a 45.8% completion percentage. His passer rating was 82.1, which was first. His adjusted YPA was 6.23, which was fourth. So Dak Prescott can clearly get the ball into tight situations, and I feel that he can get better from this. And this goes to show you what he has as a skill set in terms of that right now. Just saying, for those that don't like Dak and think that we need to get a quarterback, just think about that for a sec. So another thing that he needs to improve on his game is his ability to read defenses. Now, this is something that every quarterback, especially in their earlier years into the league, has to improve. And obviously, that's something that he's most likely going to do. His ability to understand what a defense is going to get him, to understand how to adjust to a defense that gives him a certain look. That is something that he's definitely going to work on. I could definitely see it happening. Every quarterback has done it. But I will say that there were some times this season where he got fooled into making a certain throw, where he got fooled into doing something. But guys, please keep in mind, he's a young quarterback. They make mistakes. Now, I'm not trying to say that he is scot-free with some of the mistakes he's made, but you gotta give the dude some more time. You can't expect Dak Prescott to all of a sudden be a Dan Marino, a Peyton Manning, or a Tom Brady in his second year in the league. it's going to take time for the guy to develop because he got thrown into the fire immediately. And considering how well he's done being thrown into the fire, I think that he definitely has a much higher chance of doing better next year, especially when he develops his game. Let's take his counterpart Carson Wentz, for example. I know a lot of people were saying, hey, he needs to work on his footwork and some of this other stuff. Guess what? He did that. All of a sudden, he's an MVP candidate. That's the thing. He needs to just work on his game, and I feel that he has a strong base. He just has to improve some aspects, and he can be that top guy in the league. And I just think just give the guy some time, and he'll be there. Now, I just want to go ahead and throw out 2 playoff quarterbacks compared to Dak, and I just want to see what you guys think about this. Dak Prescott, just so you are aware, went 9-7 as a starter, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,324 yards, 62.9% completion percentage. Okay. Cam Newton, same amount of touchdowns, 16 interceptions, so 3 more, 3,302 yards, 59.1% completion percentage, went 11-5 as a starter. So clearly, Dak statistically had a much better season than Cam Newton. Let's go to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 4,095 yards, 64.7% completion percentage, went 10-6 as a starter. Okay, so in 2 fields, he was better than Dak. Well, actually, 3 if you want to count the interception category, but more or less, Dak, compared to these 2 other playoff quarterbacks, relatively good. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw in another guy, Derek Carr, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,496 yards, 62.7 completion percentage, went 6-9 as a starter. I mean, and he got a Pro Bowl nod as an alternate. So looking at these stats, clearly Dak Prescott is not bad. I don't know why people want to sincerely think that he sucks. Look at these other quarterbacks. The quarterbacks I just mentioned. He's either on par or doing statistically better than them. Yet people want to say he sucks. I just want to keep that in your mind just so you are aware that, yes, did Dak struggle this year? Yeah, sure, I just mentioned how he can improve. But at the same time, compared to some of the other quarterbacks that he went through and went up against, statistically, if you're comparing them, he did pretty good. Just saying. So if you consider that you want to keep saying that he still sucks, be my guest. But at the end of the day, I still think that Dak Prescott's the guy going forward. I think he'll lead us to the promised land. Just give the dude some time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. That's been my time here. I've been Space Cowboy 17, your host. Make sure to like, subscribe, and whatever else you want to do. Feel free to join the discussion in regards to Dak down below.